At the end of life, everything gets quiet. The emails stop, the meetings are over, the notifications don't matter. And all you have left is time. Time to think about the life you lived, the choices you made, and the ones you never had the courage to make. Most people don't die with satisfaction. They die with regret. And the worst part? The regrets are always the same. Nobody says, "I wish I worked more." Nobody says, "I wish I cared more about what strangers thought of me." Nobody says, "I wish I had spent more time scrolling on my phone." Instead, these are the 5 biggest regrets people have on their deathbed. 1. I wish I had lived true to myself. Most people live their whole lives trying to please someone else. They follow a path someone else picked for them. Their parents said, "Be a doctor." So they did. Society told them, "Buy a house, get married, work until you retire." So they did. They never stopped to ask, "What do I actually want?" They spent decades chasing a version of success they never defined for themselves. They ignored their passions. They buried their real desires under the weight of expectations. And by the time they realized it, it was too late. Take a second and ask yourself, if I had no fear of judgment, no limitations, and no one to disappoint, what life would I build? If the answer is different from the one you're living right now, you already know what needs to change. 2. I wish I hadn't worked so much. There's a story about a man who spent his whole life working. He justified it by saying, "I'm doing this for my family." He skipped his kids' soccer games because he was on a conference call. He missed birthdays because of client meetings. He was too tired to enjoy vacations. When he retired, he thought he'd finally get to spend time with his family. But by then, his kids were grown. They had their own lives. They weren't around anymore. Here's the truth. The time you don't give your loved ones today is gone forever. You don't get it back. Most people tell themselves they're building a future. But if your future comes at the cost of your present, you're making a bad trade. The job will replace you in a month. Your family won't. 3. I wish I'd expressed my feelings. People hold back way too much. They don't tell their parents they love them because it feels awkward. They don't tell their friends how much they mean to them because they assume they already know. They don't say "I'm sorry" because their pride won't let them. And then time runs out. They find themselves standing over a grave, wishing they had one more chance to say what they never said. Why do we wait for funerals to say nice things about people? Why do we wait until people are gone to appreciate them? Don't assume people know how you feel. Tell them. Call your parents. Text your best friend. Tell your partner how much they mean to you. Because one day, you won't get another chance. 4. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Life gets busy. People move. Families grow. Careers take over. And friendships fade, not because we stop caring, but because we stop making the effort. And then, one day, you realize you haven't spoken to your best friend in 5 years. You scroll through old pictures and think, "Man, we had some great times." But nostalgia doesn't replace real connection. The truth is, relationships don't stay alive on their own. They need effort. You don't find time for friends. You make time. Because at the end of your life, it won't be the business deals, the promotions, or the hours spent working that you'll remember. It'll be the people, the inside jokes, the random late-night conversations, the moments that can't be replaced. Friendship is one of the few things that gets more valuable with time. If you have good people in your life, don't take them for granted. Reach out before it's too late. 5. I wish I had allowed myself to be happier. Most people live like happiness is a destination. I'll be happy when I make more money. I'll be happy when I retire. I'll be happy when I finally move to that city. But happiness isn't something you achieve. It's something you allow yourself to feel. Think about it. There are people with everything, money, power, success, who are miserable. And there are people with almost nothing who are full of joy. The difference? Gratitude. The happiest people aren't the ones who have the most. They're the ones who appreciate what they have. And the biggest tragedy? Most people don't realize this until it's too late. And now you have a choice. You can keep living like everyone else, putting off happiness, prioritizing work over people, staying silent when it matters most. Or you can wake up, right now. You can start living for yourself, not for the expectations of others. You can set boundaries, so work doesn't steal the moments that actually matter. You can tell the people you love how much they mean to you before you lose the chance. You can prioritize friendships and make time for the people who bring you joy. You can choose happiness today instead of waiting for some imaginary finish line. Because here's the brutal truth. One day, it's going to be you lying there, looking back on your life. The only question is, will you be filled with gratitude, or will you be filled with regret? The good news? You still have time to decide.